Willkommen, bienvenue. Welcome once again to
Hi.
another Frank Branding Show. I'm joined in the virtual studio by Mr. Frank Stebbing of Frank Brands, which is a very clever play on words because he's very frank. Today we're going to talk about what is the essence of your branding journey, how you work out in 4 steps what the best branding should be. And I'm hoping you can teach me today and take me through it, Frank.
I'll try to. I shall give it a shot. Yeah, it's a funny old thing because I'm a graphic designer. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. It's my passion. Done it since I was a kid, since I first picked up a crayon. And it's funny when clients or possible clients approach me that they might need a brochure or a website designed. And so my first question is always, okay, excellent, love to do it. Where's the brand guidelines? Where's the vision? Where's the mission? Where's all this sort of stuff? And of course, yeah, a lot of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, they don't have it, or what they've got is pretty bad. So what there is a process behind things. You can't start marketing really until you've got some set things in place. So that's what I thought we could, as we discussed earlier, we could go through that because I think it's pretty important for people to realize there is a process.
This is interesting because my brand guidelines are, I have a font which I particularly like. I have a color scheme that I particularly like, the purples and the golds, because I think they're quite the opposite ends of the color wheel, so they kind of work together. And I like white space, but also I like gears. So I like gears and white space. So I have a bit of white because I think things pop best on a white background, but I have gears. But beyond that, I don't have much in the way of brand guidelines. So I'm hoping to learn a little bit today.
All right. Yeah. Well, So I guess the thing is basically I'll describe it. It's a bit of a brand journey, I guess. So we'll just go through it. The main thing to think about is that branding isn't some kind of woolly thing that, just to make your brochure look nice, some pretty colors and cute graphics and things like that. It's really something essential. It's something you can't take or leave as a business owner. Because the end result of branding, this is a good thing to keep in mind, is really the end result of it is to create an outbound marketing machine, because that's how your business should work. So although I'm a designer, I'm always looking at that. How can you make the business more successful? How can you make it perform at a higher level than the direct competitors? And that's because that's going to drive profit and sales, and that's really what I'm focused on when I'm doing branding. It's not about making a nice logo and some colors. Of course, it's got to be nice. Of course, it's got.
I mean,
nice.
I love the one you did for Circle Networks.
That's it. I'm still in love with that one. And it's got a great story behind it. We should do a presentation on that with some.
I would love to. I would even like to get Jamie on board and see if he'll talk about what his reaction to it is, because I suspect he was, when you presented him with it, he was like, "Wow, I didn't see that coming."
He's really it was received really well, and he's been really supportive. He shouts about it all the time, so that's great. It gives me some great creds, so I'm happy with that.
And one of my clients recently, you've been doing some work, Chris Gilson of Route Home. I love that logo. In fact, I've got that here so I can flash that up. Look at that logo. Superb. It's I love the simplicity of it, yet it's got the R in there, the elements of the contents of a home. I love that. It's just simplicity. So all right, I'll stop. I'm listening now.
Right. Well, so broadly speaking, all agencies and designers probably have their own approach, but I think they're probably quite similar to mine. So it's got 4 stages. There's always 4 stages, and the first stage is brand strategy. So I'll go into what that is in a bit. But the next stage after that is brand identity. That's the logos and the colors. But With those two things in place, then you can take it across to the website.
So the identity is all the pretties.
Yes, the visual part of it. So that's the visual identity of the company.
So the third bit, you were going to go to the third bit before I interrupted you. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, the third bit is once that's nailed, the strategy and the identity, then you can start rolling it out. So typically, the starting place is the website. So I do design websites, and really, it's good to get that in place first because that's the shop window. That's what you need to get out there. And the fourth stage is rolling the brand out, which could be marketing campaigns or anything the client wants. It could be brochures, PowerPoints, or anything like that. Now, the point I want to get across is that they're all interlinked. You can't have one without the other, if you like.
Yeah, but you also said there's a strict order in which they have to take place. I mean, you can't do your website unless you've worked out the pretty logo and stuff like that, and you can't do that before you've worked out why that exists in the first place.
Yeah, you can't have any one of those stages. You can't have it without the others. They're all interlinked, and like you say, those 4 steps have to be taken in that exact order, and I think that can really hold businesses back from success. Not having knowledge of that. Because they want immediate results. I want some email, some marketing templates, and it's like, okay, yeah, but take a step back. You need to think a bit more deeply about all this. So the starting point for business transformation, if you like, is a really solid brand strategy, or like a value proposition. It's like what you do, how you do it, your purpose, your market positioning, how you speak to your audience. Basically, all these intangible things that people sometimes don't think about, but are really, really important. So really, with your brand strategy, it sums up why your business exists, why you do what you do beyond making money. So, which sounds a bit woolly, but it really is helpful at defining what your brand is, what sets it apart from other people, and how you want your customers to perceive your business. We talked a little bit about that last time we spoke about, your business has a personality. Same as you and I have a personality. We wear certain clothes. It's the same as your business. So, if as a business owner, if you can't pinpoint what it is that makes your business different from everyone else and what sets it apart.
Well, that's the critical, isn't it? That's the killer app. I mean, I talk to people all the time. I mean, the classic example. So you talk to, here's the one that probably make your toes curl, IFAs. You're talking to an IFA, independent financial advisor, and you say to them the magic words, what makes you different from all the other independent financial advisors? And they usually come up with things like, well, I give that extra personal service, bespoke touch, and the rest of it. And I often respond, but they all say that anyway. What actually makes you different?
Yeah.
And I think that's differentiation is key for all of this, isn't it?
It is, and it's quite hard. It's really hard to delve into these things, and that's why it's helpful to work with someone in branding, because they're out. If you're inside, you are you. It's really hard to perceive who you are and why you do things. So I guess brand strategy is a little bit about doing therapy in a way. It's about digging deep and finding underlying motives about why you do things. It's a bit woke, it's a bit fluffy, but it really is important to get that right, because once you've got that stuff in place, it's really powerful. Because
it's very rare. I think it's very rare that people do businesses like yours and like mine, just purely to earn money. It's usually to gain some sort of satisfaction, and the satisfaction often comes from either a process, an end result, or a reflection back from our clients.
I agree. There's these underlying motives that we all have, and it's unearthing them. It's getting them to the surface, and like I said, they're quite, they're kind of hidden away from us, and it's good to sit down with someone, go through questionnaires, answer some searching questions, and have someone help you pull them out. Because if you can surface this stuff, this is the stuff that's going to make you appeal to certain people. Now, you can't. The whole point of branding and brand identity is the fact that you cannot appeal to everyone. It's really important to find your tribe, as people like to call it these days, or your niche, or your target market.
I could be accused of telling people they need to find their tribe, but yes,
yeah,
all right.
Yes, one of those words. So it becomes a lot easier to find that audience. People will connect with you if they can see themselves in you and your business and the way you talk and the things you talk about, and if you can define your values and all this underlying stuff, your purpose, why you're doing it beyond making money, that resonates. There's this whole emotional connection that comes about, and of course, some people might see that in your voice and in the design, and they might hate it, and that's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic if people hate it, because they're not your customers. They're people, you don't want to do business with them. Like I say, you can't do business with everyone. We all want to do business with people that we like, who like us.
So hang on a minute. Are you saying that a conscious effort in designing a brand and a brand identity is to find the stuff that's the anathema to the people that we don't want to work with?
Kind of. I mean, I wouldn't. I think it's a byproduct. What you're doing is defining who you do want to work with. Your tribe, and then naturally, as a byproduct of that, then hopefully you filter out people that are not, that don't resonate with you. That you don't want to be working with them. So it's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's sometimes hard to identify the elements of all that can suddenly reflect itself in colors, logo, brand ethos, etc. It's trying to find a way to express all that within those boundaries, I guess.
It is, and that is why we do branding. That's why you have to get external help, because it is a process, and it's a hard process, but there is strategy behind it. Obviously, it's a creative process. It has to look amazing, but it has to be done in a strategic way. And brand strategy, this first stage, is part of that. It's actually using strategy to define, who your audience is, who you are. Thinking about things with clarity and getting it down on paper, and then crafting a narrative, or at the end of it, you get a document that you can refer to, and it's a really good document for external vendors to use. That if you're hiring a copywriter or a marketing company, they can read it and understand who you are better. They can really get an insight into what makes you tick. And also, if you're hiring, with your staff and things like that, that can be part of your hiring process, because we want to work with people that resonate with us. That's so it'll attract the right people. And going back to repelling people, it will turn other people off that you don't want to work with you, if you know what I mean.
Well, I get that a lot, because a lot of people don't want to work with someone who looks as perhaps non-conformist.
Well, maybe that's why we're having this conversation right now. It's because when we met, I thought he looks mad, and I completely like mad people. So,
well, I think without trying to put words in your mouth, I think what drew us to each other is we're less hidebound by other people's expectations. We're more likely to step outside of any box-like structure that we might feel constrained by, and have a look and peek outside. And I think that can lead. I think you can only. I can't remember who said. I'm misquoting someone wildly. So if anybody wants to write in and correct me, please feel free. But I think only true progress is made when you disregard what has gone before and step into the void. You kind of got to try and find out what else there is other than just saying, well, we've always done it this way, so let's carry on. And I think that's the essence of it.
No, I absolutely hear you. I mean, since I've never wanted to conform, since I was a teenager, I've always never wanted to fit into that box, and have fought to remain independent and to live my life the way I want to live it. So like minds, we're attracted to like minds, aren't we? I think, and that's a good part. Going back to segueing back to branding, that's a key part of it, isn't it?
Well, no, it is, and you want to attract. I'm going to use the T word again.
Yes.
You want to attract your tribe because I guess they might not have identical brand values to you, but there's enough similarity in them that there's a sort of a mutual attraction of some sort.
Yeah,
I guess it's going to be that way. I mean, if I can use circle again as an example. Thank you, Jamie. He wants to attract people who want to be part of a community and who want to support each other without necessarily hard selling to each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's what attracted me to it, because I was fed up of being corralled into the corner of some sort of Zoom room by a bunch of IFAs and dare I say it, utility warehouse people. You know what I mean? Is something about utilities. I'm really not that interested. What I want to do is find out people who want to work with me, and I think that should be the mission of all business owners, to work with businesses and people who want to work with that kind of ethos.
Yeah, I think the tagline says it all, doesn't it? It's friendship fuels business. Is pretty spot on. That seems to be a network that attracts the right people who are a little bit left field, shall we say? They're it's somewhere I feel at home. So and I've got some great relationships within it, which it's turning into referrals and me referring other people as well. And that's
I refer people to you because I believe in your brand. And I believe in, and as evidenced by your own self-branding, and it's evidenced by the branding I've seen you do for others. There was one I did you saw, which was, I don't know whether they were lawyers or accountants, whatever. It was something I remember the branding of that. I loved that.
It was Capadia Rose.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a really nice project. Really nice people. It's a husband and wife team. And it was on the outside. It's like a real kind of boring thing. It's like a legal, documentation. Yes. But they were brilliant because they weren't boring at all. They were absolutely. They're just lovely people. They're just real. Probably have to watch what I'm saying. They're just lovely. They're colourful. They're just great people. So instead of having your typical kind of legal, boring brand, it was really exuberant, really powerful, really punchy, and it looks great. It looks really fresh, and they absolutely love it. I love it. We've
got a comment. We've got a comment from our audience. Jonathan Finch says, "Great points. Build your tribe." We're down with you, Jonathan. It's all about. I think it's that like attracting like. Be a magnet, and try and bring in people. I mean, in my case, slightly freaky people, but you bring them in, and hopefully they'll want to talk to you more. I'm gonna wind this up. Thank you so much, Frank. Every day's a learning day. Yeah, I knew a teensy bit about branding. I think I need to work a bit more on my brand strategy, frankly.
Well, we only got to point one, didn't we? So we'll have to insert.
Well, no, we can carry on for a bit longer. I've got another 6 or 7 minutes on the clock. If you could tell me some more, how do we get to point two? Because point one is
the strategy. So once that's done, it's all that ephemeral underlying stuff, which is the core foundation. It's only then that you move across to the brand identity. And again, business owners get this wrong. They're like, Frank, can you design our brand? And I'm like, yeah, of course I can. I love designing brands. Have you got your brand strategy? Can I have a look at your brand strategy document? No, we don't have one. So anyway, we talked about that. So once you got your brand strategy document, it's onto the identity, and the identity really is, it should be an expression of that strategy. It should be an expression of that. It should bring that to life. It should tell that story somehow. So yeah, I mean the tools, the elements of the visual or brand identity is of course the logo, good old logo, the colors, the typeface, the graphic style.
I'm going to ask you live, and you can embarrass me if you want. Okay. What do you think of my logo?
I can't see it on there. I can see the hats with the.
That's it. Can you see behind it? There's a speedometer behind the hat.
I can't. No, I need my eyes tested.
If I tell you, I'll do this. Watch this. Can you see that behind?
There is, yeah.
And that's because the letters are MPH. Many purple hats.
Miles per hour.
That's it. Because
there we go. I didn't know.
No, but it's the thing is, the whole thing. I'm always wearing hats.
I know. You're known for it. You're famous for your hats.
Yes, and so I it seemed like I should do something related to hats. My wife's favorite color is purple. My favorite color is yellow. And they, by mystically, sort of work together quite nicely.
They do, yeah, because they're opposite at the ends of the color spectrum.
So that's literally how it came about. And then one day, my wife said to me, "Oh, MPH, vroom," and I thought, "Oh, I like that." So that's literally how it came about.
So you've got your nice little brand story there, your brand narrative.
That's my narrative. Is that everything I do is in my wife's is celebrating my wife in some way. All my businesses have purple in them, and purple is her favorite color. But I like the marriage of that and the gears, and I'm always in steampunk. As you know, I'm continuously in that sort of mode. And so the wheels and the gears, they're just ephemera. They could be there, not be there. But I love that. And also Heather's obsessed by Cadbury's.
Okay.
It's a nod to Cadbury purple.
Okay. Yeah, I know that you're very much into cyberpunk as well. So all the gears and the all that fits with that, doesn't it?
Yes. It's. But also, do you notice there's lots of blue in it? Little bits of blue, because blue, I've always thought and was told, was the kind of color of honesty. And I am honest and direct if I can be at all times. Please, I'd rather be. I mean, I try and hold myself back sometimes from being too honest, but yes.
No, likewise. I mean, I'm the same. That's the reason why I called the business Frank Brands was because of that. Because I thought there's so much bullshit around, especially with branding agencies. I just thought, like, let's just have an honest conversation with people. And just, branding should be there to make businesses more successful, not to say how good I am at designing and win design awards. The way I look at it is how can I make this person who's got a life, a wife, kids, or whatever, husband, how can I improve their lives with what I do, with the knowledge that I've got and the skills that I'm trying to build up and have built up a few over the years. But it's about.
What I was going to suggest is you've done the first two pillars.
I haven't really got into the brand identity, but
What I was hoping is next time you could show me some illustrations of that, and perhaps talk through some of the brands you worked on from the point of view of the strategy, the brand identity, and then perhaps and then we can start talking about how it gets put onto a website and how it gets propagated.
Okay. Well, we were talking about Circle earlier and Capaldi Rose. I could dig up those projects, and
that would be lovely. That would be lovely.
Share the rationale of how we got to where we got to the end result. So that could be pretty cool.
I would particularly like on the circle. I want to know the evolution of what I'm calling the splat.
The splat, yes, yeah. That's the Circle Networks logo that hasn't got a circle in it. Well, it has actually, but that's the.
It's hidden. It's in the center of it, isn't it?
There is a whole genesis kind of idea but yeah, I knew that I didn't want to have a circle in the Circle Networks logo.
No, I suppose if one can be philosophical about this, it represents an explosion almost of red light, and that comes from a single dot, doesn't it? Which is always a perfect circle.
Yep. Yeah. No, there's we'll get into that. You'll have to show me how to share slides on the
It'll be easy as pie. I promise you. You. Look, guys, thank you for spending this time with us. Jonathan, thanks for your great comment.
Cheers, Jonathan.
Every day a learning day. Thanks a lot, Frank. I think I'm going to have to go and do some work now on my brand strategy.
Yeah,
you give me more work to do, Frank.
Enjoy it. It's good. It's always good. It's always good to work into that.
I don't know. You have to ask some harder questions about why you're doing what you're doing, I guess.
I'll send over the questionnaires and you can have a little look at them.
Well, until next week, thank you so much. Guys, this has been Frank Stebbing. I've been Gareth Wax. Please look after yourselves and look after that mental health this weekend. Bye-bye now.
See ya. Take care.